What's up, everybody? Welcome to Ask Me Anything number 38. What? 38 weeks? That's crazy. 38 weeks. All right, let me check and make sure everything's working right. I've been doing some finagling, and that's why I'm a couple minutes late because obviously, as you can see, this is a bit of a different setup. It's not the big giant whiteboard and all the things, right? The whiteboard is over there just in case I need it, but I don't really see a reason why I would need it depending on the questions that we're gonna get here. So let me just make sure, I'm gonna refresh here as always and make sure everything is working. Also, as you guys may have seen from some of my stories on Instagram or my videos, all that, I have a new little microphone over here that's set up next to me. So what that's going to be for is when I do podcast episodes that are interviews, which we're going to be starting. I have some news about that. And there we go. We're live. Awesome. I'm going to click for more. Make sure I can see myself. I can see your comments. Awesome, awesome, awesome. This is great. Ooh, wait a second. Uno. Sorry about that. I shut my air conditioning system off because, like Alexa, that will make noise. I try to turn her off if I remember. Sometimes I don't remember, and you guys have probably seen her bark at me like, I'm sorry, I don't understand. The HVAC unit just kicked on because you guys know I am a sleep hacker. So I sleep with my house at 66 degrees, and I have a Nest thermostat. So that kicks in a couple hours before bed, make sure that the house is at 66 degrees before I go to sleep. Helps me sleep better, right? So that just kicked on. I forgot about it, forgot to turn it off. And believe it or not, this little microphone, as you guys will hear with the podcast, you can't see the microphone. I made sure it was out of frame and everything, which is cool. But the podcast is going to sound much, much better. And the podcast intros that I record, I've been using just like Apple headphones, and they just don't sound fantastic. So I have GarageBand running and doing some recording over here with that. I'm going to adjust the gain here for a second and make sure that that sounds good. Hey, yep. Awesome. This is so cool, guys. I have new gear. I have all this stuff, setting up interviews, which is going to be fantastic. I was just speaking with Diana Rogers from Sustainable Dish. So we're going to get her in the podcast. She's going to be great. She's awesome. It's a little bit bright, but hey, you know what? I'm not going to get up and move stuff around right now. So here we are. Ask Me Anything, number 38. For those of you that haven't seen an AMA before, that is an Ask Me Anything. Usually, it's me and a whiteboard, and there is 60 plus hours of that at clovis.store/AMA. If you check out clovis.store/AMA, you can see 60 plus hours of me basically giving you a master's degree in nutrition. I guess that sounds a little arrogant to say. Let's not go that far. But 60 plus hours of free content on everything you can think of, from fat loss to exercise to childhood nutrition to ADHD to the gut microbiome and everything in between, right? So check those out. They're fantastic, but we're going to do things a little bit different. What's happening is I feel like the amount of content that I put out at this point is a little bit overwhelming. It's overwhelming for the new people first coming into Clovis. It's overwhelming for me to prep and prepare for that week after week after week. So last week was AMA number 37, which I did live from Puerto Rico. And I was a little nervous about it because it was the first time in 37 weeks that I didn't have a prepared AMA. And boom, it went really well. People liked it. They enjoyed it. I was literally 3/4 drunk. I had tequila and whiskey and red wine in my system all at the same time. It still went really well. It's kind of nice to just give off the cuff information like that because it lets you guys know that I actually do know what I'm talking about. I prep for these AMAs for sure, but I like taking rapid fire questions. That's really, really fun. That's actually where I'm most comfortable. I've been a musician for the last 15 years, and most of my gigs are improv. I am an all request musician, so I know over 600 songs, and I take requests from the crowd as they come in, and I tell jokes and banter, and it's mostly improv. So I really like improv. I like to do that. Kathy, I don't understand your obsession with hypercalcemia. I was reading your comment just like, where do you get this stuff? What the hell made you think you're gonna get that? Okay, Largo with no Wi-Fi. Hey guys, let's all cry for Papa Nault, for my dad with no Wi-Fi because he's in Key Largo and gonna go scuba diving. Oh, I'm sorry. Life is rough, Dad. I wish you had Wi-Fi. We'd bring you on here live. So that's what we're gonna do. But anyway, AMA number 37 went really well from Puerto Rico. I liked it. So what I did is we're gonna replicate it. Dry Farm Wines. I have no idea how to pronounce this wine, and there's a really bad glare. But this is a product of Austria. Thank you, Todd White and Dry Farm Wines. Speaking of which, we're gonna get Todd White on the podcast because He's amazing. Todd is a good friend. He's a great guy. I'm gonna give myself a refill here, which is probably gonna sound delightful on this new microphone. And this would be, I won't tell you how many glasses of wine that I've had. I'm gonna let you guys guess. So, a couple things. I'm taking a break from talking about childhood nutrition on the podcast because I get too worked up. It's bad for my blood pressure, it's bad for my heart rate, and all the things. I just totally made that up, but I do get really angry, and it makes me wanna fight people, and I yell at parents, and I use profanity, and I can't do it for now, okay? So I'm gonna rethink the childhood nutrition thing. I was also speaking with Diana Rogers about this because she's a registered dietitian, and she's fantastic with kids and fantastic with families. So we're gonna talk a little bit with her about things like grain-fed versus grass-fed, et cetera, et cetera. So we're trying to set that interview up. Again, I want you guys to tell me who you want to get on the podcast, who you want me to talk to, who you think I would have interesting conversations with, okay? I want you guys to tell me who you want me to talk to, and I'll reach out to them and try to get them on, try to have the most interesting conversations possible. And we're gonna jump into questions here in a second. So, thank you guys so much for being here. This is Ask Me Anything number 38. Again, this is a little different. There's no prepared information here, but I'm here to take questions from you. We can talk about a little things. I'll wait for questions. Then we can talk a little bit about some products that I have over here because I know there are some people in the academy that wanted to talk about dental. I'll probably do a full dental AMA because as I was thinking about it today, I'm like, there's a lot of info here. There's a lot to go over, but I can show you guys some of my favorite products. I also feel like I'm coming down with something, which means that I have to pull out all the stops and do all the crazy things that I usually do. So I've been working on that, which has been really fun. So let's see. Dads in Key Largo want to talk about hypercalcemia. It's probably not going to happen to you. That got planted in your head. I don't know how, but get it out of there and stop worrying about it. The diet you told me that you're on is incredibly healthy. Just keep doing that. I will be 14. I will be 24. When is 24? When are you going to hit 24 hours? Let me see. I'm scrolling down. There might be more. Actually, you know what? I'm going to scroll all the way down this, and I'm going to read on Facebook. That's why. I have my laptop here. That's going to be way, way easier. Okay. Too much reading. Yeah, Kathy, that's the problem with the internet is people read hypercalcemia, and all of a sudden you think you're going to have it. You're not. No. Okay? Hey, Sharissa. What's up? I miss you. Sharissa, I'm a little bummed. I totally wanted to call you and Casey and set up a party for the Conor McGregor fight, but I have to play a wedding that night. I'm booked. Crazy. Hubby is trying post-workout for the first time tonight. Awesome. Hubby's going to love it. Did you get chocolate or vanilla? Cacao or vanilla? Let me know. David Wireman, what's up, dude? How you doing? I'll be fasted 23 hours tomorrow, and I want to donate whole blood before breaking the fast. That's okay? Yes, of course. I actually kind of like this idea as a fun little experiment. I think that would be cool. Let's see how you feel, right? People are obsessed with changing their blood levels and doing it instantaneously. Why? Because we have an epidemic of type 2 diabetes in this country, so people are used to this whole blood sugar thing. If you ask an average person about blood sugar, they'll be like, yeah, I know what that is. It's when you eat a Snickers bar because you're feeling a little bit tired, right? That's what people think this blood glucose thing is. It's ridiculous, guys. And this is where you come up with insane things like, let me just talk to you guys for a second about this acidic diet or the alkaline diet. You can cure cancer if you have less acid in your blood. What? What are you talking about? Right? I don't know, guys. It's just crazy. So what happens with these kinds of things is people are measuring like things like pH and the acid in their urine. They all test urine. pH sticks or whatever the hell you do when you're on one of these alkaline anti-acid diets or whatever, right? Just because your urine says something doesn't mean you're changing the pH level of your blood. What? No, okay? So, but to go back to your question about donating blood, I think you're gonna be just fine. And I think that when you go home, when you break your fast, because I believe we talked that you're planning on breaking a fast after 24 hours, get some meat in your system. Go get a grass-fed ribeye and some broccoli or sweet potato or something like that. Really enjoy it. It's your birthday. Happy birthday. Have an amazing birthday meal, guys. It's Sean's birthday. That's great. You're totally going to be fine. And I would imagine that you're actually going to feel much better than you would have donating blood in the past because your iron level is probably much better than it used to be. Let's see. Do you plan on having Clovis peeps as guests on the podcast? Maybe telling the journey. Yes, it depends. And what I mean by that is there's the freeze up factor. So somebody like a Jackie would be really great to have on a podcast because she has her own podcast. She's used to talking, things like that. What you have to watch out for is this. So Clovis, it was April, and I did it, and yeah, and you gotta look out for that kind of stuff, right? And that's not like to be insulting or anything like that. It's just, I've been a performer for 15 years. So moving into this space of video and audio and all these things, it really, really made sense. It made a lot of sense for me to get into this. I'm very comfortable here. I don't freeze up. I don't get upset. If I mumble over my words, I go, oh crap, I stumbled over my words. It's not a big deal, right? That's why I can sit here and drink wine with you guys. But many people really, really freeze up and they don't realize it. I might be on the phone with them or on a Skype interview with them and we're just chatting and everything is fine. And then I say, okay, now we're live and recording, and people will freak out. So that's the only thing that prevents me from just being like, hey, let me pull some members on here. If I can kind of prep members for an interview, then I think that would be a really cool idea because there are some pretty incredible stories to tell. But I can tell you guys just from the contest I did with the video testimonies, it's really hard to tell your story sometimes, especially if we're in a setting where we're recording live. It's not like we can do take after take after take as if we're filming a commercial or you're trying to get your testimony video right or something like that. And when you go back and watch these long form videos, it can be a little bit tough if somebody's not prepared to present their story in a way that's enjoyable for the listener. But to answer that question, I would love to get some people on here telling their stories, their Clovis transformations. It would be absolutely fantastic. So we should totally do that. Let's take a wine sip. Let's read some comments. Yes for dental AMA. Okay, let's chat dental a little bit. Let's see. Just went to the dentist. Yes to AMA. I'm at 59 hours down, fasted. Cassie, that's awesome. You are the fasting queen. Talking to my doc tomorrow. I'm going to turn him on to the tribe. Awesome. Corvin, I hope your doc is open-minded and willing to chat. What would be really cool is if a doc came into the Clovis Academy and wanted to talk to us and give us some of their advice. There's a misconception that I'm anti-doctor, and that is not the case. I think that the doctors are 100% experts. They are to be respected in their field. Nutrition is not their field. Medicine is their field, okay? And I would love to have a doctor in here, get their take on it, except for functional medicine doctors, which are the best of both worlds, right? MDs and nutritionists all in one. Usually give platelets in single or double batches, but tomorrow is a blood drive. Cool. Oh God, Alkaline Diet. Yes, Rhea. We chatted about that. Happy birthday, Sean. Yes, big fat steak to break the fast. Interviewing members is a cool idea. 100%. I agree. Shared this video. Thank you, Cassie. Jessica, yeah, you'd be great to pull on here. That would be awesome. AMA for how to work with a conventional doctor and advocate for yourself, ask for useful tests, etc. Well, so the struggle there, Corvin, is when you ask for the test, which you can do, you can ask for certain blood tests that I think would be far more beneficial, like if you get a full lipid panel, rather than getting just a total cholesterol test, for example. Like you want to get your particle numbers, you want total HDL, you want total LDL, you want LDL particle number, you want VLDL particle number, you want triglycerides, you want the whole lipid panel, right? The issue comes in with extensive blood work because you need somebody to help you analyze that data. And a traditional MD probably can't. And that's not an insult. They're just not biochemists and they're not trained nutritionists. So they may not know how to actually walk you through that data or give you actionable steps based on that data. So that becomes a little bit tricky. But in the same sense, you could probably get them to order the tests that you want, and you could do some stuff online as well. I found a functional medicine doctor and will never go back. She's amazing. Yeah, that's fantastic. And there are a lot of functional doctors. Ken Berry, he wrote the book Lies My Doctor Told Me. As far as I know, Ken is doing remote work, and he'll actually get onto on screen time with you. You'll do like a live video like we are, or a Skype session or things like that, and go over blood work. You can definitely get remote functional medicine doctors. That's the thing. I hate to sound rude about this, but one thing that drives me crazy, even with Clovis people, is the ease at which people will give up completely, right? I say, hey, you probably need a functional medicine doctor. And they go, Looked at that website you sent me. There's none in my area. I give up. I'm like, what? We're not the same, you and I. I'm like, I don't do things like you do. It's like, no, I will find somebody who will work with me remotely, and I'll get on videos with them, and I'll get the blood work, and I'll send them the blood work and all these things, right? Yeah, it's all Skype, absolutely. It's 2018. You trust me, you can find a functional medicine practitioner to work with you, and you can go to places like Any Lab Test Now, or SpectraCell, or Genova Diagnostics, and you can get the test ordered by a functional medicine doctor in a completely different state. Go to a local place, get the blood draw, mail it out, talk to the guy over Skype, boom, you have a functional medicine doctor, right? It's that simple, guys. Just don't give up. What else we got? I would totally give my testimony, but it doesn't matter if you have a bit to go. Cassie, remember, wherever I am right now is exactly where I'm supposed to be. Your story right now is mind-blowing, okay? It's mind-blowing, especially for people who are not as far along in their journey as you are. I would love to chat with you about how we had to put the puzzle pieces together. I think you'd be a fantastic candidate to get on here and tell your story because nothing worked for you. And then nothing worked for you. I helped you unpack this. We talked about the puzzle pieces, put the puzzle pieces together. How much weight have you lost? Since we put the puzzle pieces together, figured out what was going wrong, how much weight have you lost? You should put that in a comment right now just so we can talk about how ridiculous your story is, right? When I have people who have lost 70 pounds, 100 pounds, 60 pounds, 40 pounds. You have to understand, these stories are mind-blowing to other people who aren't as far along in your journey as you are. You want to be further along in your journey, but your journey is still a spectacular story for other individuals who haven't even started yet, right? Absolutely. Let's tell people how much you lost. What else we got? He might come in. He's cool. Awesome. That'd be great. Talk dental. Okay. Yeah, let's talk a little bit of dental. That would be really cool. No. That's a bit different. Plaque is just, the name is the same, but it's a completely different thing, right? Okay, let's talk about this. So I'll just show you natural routes to rid teeth of cavities. That's difficult. If you have cavities, you're pretty far along, and a conventional dentist is probably going to help you. But there are also dentists. I can't even remember the word for it. I need to do a dental AMA so I can brush up on some of this stuff. But there are dentists who are basically like functional medicine doctors in the field of dentistry. Dentistry is just like traditional mainstream medicine. They are taught what they're taught in school. They don't read any books outside of the status quo, and they don't really know the whole story, right? So I'll give you an example. There is a microbiome in your mouth. There's a microbiome in your mouth the same way that there is a gut microbiome in your gut. So I want you to think about these things, right? When you have something like Listerine, Listerine seems like a good idea the same way that hand sanitizer seemed like a good idea. What has happened now? Hand sanitizer is banned in public schools. I think they have a certain amount of time to implement this law or whatever, but hand sanitizer is banned from public schools. We have learned that hand sanitizers are horrible for you because they kill even the beneficial bacteria that helps boost your immune system, okay? So this over-sanitization problem that we have happens everywhere. I've told you guys this before. There's a microbiome on your shoulder blade that couldn't survive in the environment of the microbiome of your armpit, that couldn't survive in the environment of the microbiome in your mouth, right? So there is a microbiome in your mouth that heavily impacts your immune system and protects you from illnesses. When you just take Listerine, you napalm the whole thing. You just kill it, right? Listerine, swish, 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 swish. Murder everything in your mouth, destroy the microbiome, destroy the enamel of your teeth, spit it out. Now you're much more prone to things like infections and airborne illnesses, right? It's really, really tricky. So you have to understand that all of the products that you use, fluoride is a big issue. Most drinking water, chlorine. I'll tell you guys this. I had to spend a bunch of money to get my whole house. I have a RainSoft whole house filtration system updated in my house just yesterday. And he was explaining to me, I mean, this thing filters out over 300 chemicals that are found in municipal water. Municipal water, you have fluoride, you have chlorine, and 300 other chemicals. What are those 300 other chemicals? I don't know. Your buddy across the street is changing his oil and then using his hose to spray down his driveway, and it goes into the sewage system. That ends up in your municipal water supply, which gets treated, yes, but do they get everything out? out, not even close, right? So I have a whole house filtration system. The thing's like $6,000 to put in your house. It's worth every penny. And that goes through my main whole house system. And then I have a Gen Air refrigerator that has a second charcoal filter inside of it. So all my drinking water is double filtered. It's better than any bottled water you're gonna get in a store, and it comes right out of my refrigerator. Right? It's perfect. But again, this all goes back to your mouth. The gut microbiome in your mouth is under attack all the time. Your teeth whitening that you do is horrible for you, generally speaking. These things that people swish in their mouth, like Listerine, are terrible for you. So there's a company that I really like that I wanted to share with you guys. Let's see. So I have a couple products from them, and this is called Aura Wellness. Let's see if I can get that to focus. ORA Wellness, okay? I'll type this in here because I have the computer. So Aura Wellness is fantastic. I don't know if their website's just aurawellness.com, but they're awesome. This one is called Shine. This is a tooth remineralizer. So it's actually the opposite of teeth whitening, but it also whitens your teeth. It pulls stains, but it actually remineralizes your teeth and makes them stronger. Whitening your teeth strips the enamel. Not good. You don't want to do that, guys. It's not a good idea, right? And then this is essentially like a toothpaste. Let's see if we can... this is Oral Wellness. This is called Healthy Mouth Blend, okay? And what this is, Jessica's gonna love this, it's simply a blend of different essential oils, right? And this will kill bacteria in your mouth without destroying your mouth's healthy microbiome, right? It doesn't kill all the beneficial bacteria. Another thing I'll show you is this, and this was recommended to me by Krista. This is the activated charcoal toothpaste. Krista or Sam, I can't remember. But another thing that I want to tell you guys is you have to remember, right? Everybody jumps on this bandwagon of like, hey, charcoal is fantastic for whitening your teeth, but hold on, wine sip. I hope you guys are drinking with me. I'm not the only one. I don't drink alone usually. This is weird for me. You have to remember what charcoal does. Charcoal is a binding agent. So if I drink this alcohol or I eat a poor meal that is covered in trans fat or fried or something, and I take activated charcoal, that activated charcoal is going to bind to those toxins and help escort them out of my system. The same thing is going to happen in your mouth, right? So this activated charcoal is still binding to things. And again, a lot of people are going to say, I like this magic mud. Yes, absolutely, Krista. Okay, here's what I'm about to explain. You don't want to use this every single day. Okay, you just don't. It shouldn't be your normal toothpaste for every single, yes, once a week, fantastic, Krista, that's great. You don't want to do this every day. It binds to even the beneficial things. That's why I would never tell you to take activated charcoal and then take a multivitamin. You're not going to get all those multivitamins. It's going to bind to some of those beneficial molecules and escort those out of your body as well. The charcoal acts the same way. Things like saliva in your mouth and the bacteria that's in your mouth that lives there is very beneficial. It protects you from things like illness, airborne illness, diseases, gum disease, all these things. So, I mean, if you're using that every single day as your normal toothpaste, yeah, nobody knows this stuff, Jessica. If you're using this every day as your normal toothpaste, you're going to kill some of the beneficial stuff too. Now, Jessica Ridley just talked about oil pulling. As you guys know, I'm a fan of Ayurvedic medicine. Ayurvedic medicine has been using oil pulling forever. You probably think that oil pulling is from some blogger in 2015 that decided this was a good idea. This has been around for thousands of years. Oil pulling is fantastic, but it's a pain in the ass. In my opinion, at least, it's a pain in the ass. It doesn't taste good. You first put the hunk of coconut oil in your mouth and it's very uncomfortable and your gag reflex is like, oh, this sucks. Then it eventually turns to liquid and you swish it around. You're supposed to swish it around for 20 minutes. Let me give you guys a little tip. The other issue with coconut charcoal in terms, or any kind of activated charcoal in terms of whitening, is it's just not on your teeth long enough to make a big difference. Everybody wants these natural remedies, these natural whitening remedies, to work like normal teeth whitening. Like you go in for a session and your teeth are whiter. And then for the next 3 days, the dentist is like, don't eat fruit, don't drink wine, don't drink soda, don't drink tea, don't eat this. It's gonna hurt like hell. Why? Because you stripped all your enamel. They give you a diet you have to follow because you stripped all your enamel. That's not smart. Rhea, that's a great idea. Heat up the coconut oil first rather than the big chunk. I've done it as a big chunk. Terrible idea. So maybe heat up the oil a little bit, melt it down like a liquid, and then do the pulling. But it takes 20 minutes. So the thing about this activated charcoal for whitening is it doesn't have enough contact time to make the difference that you want it to, like traditional teeth whitening. So what you can do is take something like an activated charcoal capsule. You can crack it open. You can pour it into the coconut oil, and you can do oil pulling with the activated charcoal mixed into the oil. Now you're gonna have activated charcoal touching your teeth for 20 minutes. It's going to have much more contact time to do the whitening, right? Boom, oil pulling and activated charcoal. Combine the two, okay? And the Healthy Mouth Blend, I'm gonna tell you guys another trick. This is a big deal. This is a tongue scraper. I don't know how many people have a tongue scraper, but this is also from Ayurvedic medicine. This has been around forever. All you do is literally first thing in the morning, like when I get up first thing in the morning, I usually have to go to the bathroom, right? So I wake up, go to the bathroom, and the very first thing I do is pull this back to front, straight down my tongue. And I'll usually do it 2-3 times, whatever. And one, this is good for people that have chronic bad breath. If you have chronic bad breath, you have an issue of your gut microbiome and possibly your mouth microbiome, and things like Listerine are not going to help. They're going to make the problem worse. But this is a great way. It actually activates your organs first thing in the morning by pulling on those taste buds and getting some of those germs and bacteria out of your mouth that you got while you were sleeping, okay? So I always do that. What I do first thing in the morning, this is my go-to first thing in the morning, is tongue scraper, and then that Healthy Mouth Blend, I just go, and put one drop on my tongue, a little bit of water, swish, 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 spit it out, boom. First thing in the morning, get a good little boost to my healthy bacteria, kill the bad bacteria, keep the healthy bacteria happy in my mouth microbiome the same way that my gut microbiome works, right guys? Okay, there you go. So there's a little bit of dental things. How was that? Was that good? Yes, for the tongue scraper. Do the tongue scraper, that's awesome. All right, let me go up here because there's a lot of things that I missed. Okay, we're up to natural cavities. Went and had a silver filling replaced a couple weeks ago. Got a great dentist and their prices were awesome, fantastic. Yeah, and if you guys have fillings, like heavy metal fillings, those can be really, really bad for you. And when you get them removed, you have to be very, very careful. You have to get a dentist who knows what they're doing, because just exploding them in your mouth is going to give you a flush of toxic metals in your system. That's not good either. What else we got? I swear by oil pulling works so well, absolutely. I'm down 30 pounds since August 1st. Guys, what's today? It's September 26th. Cassie's down 30 pounds since August 1st. Think about that. That's fantastic, guys. It's great. And Cassie's been trying to lose weight for what, approximately 20 years? Something like that? You remind me, Cassie, if I'm wrong, just call me out. You can call me out right now, not a big deal. Dr. Hyman has an ebook on how to work with your doctor and tests to ask, go over them. That's fantastically true, and I forgot about it. Thank you so much. Laura, I don't know if you have a link for that. Dr. Hyman's amazing. Hyman is a target for the podcast. I don't know him personally, but I know a large number of people who are very good friends of mine who are friends with him. So I am going to try to get Dr. Hyman on the podcast. That is a goal of mine. And he does. He has a full-blown free ebook that is how to deal with a traditional doctor in a functional medicine type way. That's definitely worth checking out. I'm sure you can just Google it. Maybe Google like Mark Hyman, his name's Mark, or maybe Google Mark Hyman or Dr. Mark Hyman, how to work with your doctor or something like that. I went shopping at Bass Pro last night and went from 3X to an XL. I had tears at the checkout. I have tears for you now, Cassie. That's unbelievable. By the way, Cassie, I don't think I ever told you this. This is the wine talking, everybody. Let's do this. Cassie, when Cassie first came to me, I'm not going to share any of your information here, Cassie, but I'm going to tell this story. Cassie first came to me via email. She sent me an email and spelled out her story of the last 23 years. And Cassie is one of 4 clients that I have had where their introduction email actually made me cry. Yeah. So, you know, I've had my struggles. I've talked about being a chubby kid or things like that, or my body dysmorphia, or my addiction to diet pills and ephedrine and fitness and all these things. But I have never gone through life as an obese person. I don't know what that is. And to hear some of these stories when people really get deep and share with me, which is what Cassie did, I could tell that Cassie was coming from a place of desperation, of, hey man, I'm fucking over this. I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to do, man. I don't know who you are. I saw one of your videos. I'm reaching out to you because I don't know what else to do. And I actually reached out to a really good friend of mine and just was crying. I was like, I don't know what to do. I have to do something for this woman. And I mean, by I don't know what to do, I knew exactly what to do. My whole issue was I hope that I can get her to trust me. And that's what I've done. So thank you, Cassie, for trusting me. And here we are months and months and months later. And we finally figured out what was happening. And she just needed a significant detox along with some cellular autophagy. That was a big deal. And apoptosis. There was a lot going on there. So we figured it out and got things straightened out. And I made her a promise in my response email that I would stick with her as long as it took to make sure that we made those changes happen. And that's what we've done. So thank you, Cassie, for trusting me. And thank you for doing what I told you to. You are an amazing person. Thank you so much. And I would love to bring you on here and tell your whole story. I think that'd be really cool. So, hey, my mom's here. Hey, Mama, how are you? Mama brought me this wine today. It was over at her house. I left it there. Dry Farm Wines. All right, so that was a little sappy moment, but Cassie, thank you. You're amazing. I appreciate it. Let's check what we got here. Speaking of microbiome, my Mother Dirt bottle arrives tomorrow. Yes! Mother Dirt AO Mist is fantastic. Probiotic Action is another good one. I love Mother Dirt. They're great people too. I've spent some time hanging out with their crew at Paleo FX. They have great soaps and skincare products and all the things, right? Take care of your microbiome everywhere. You are more bacteria than you are human. Remember that, okay? Just think, we worked downtown next to each other for years and years, and you found out you had lead issues. Yes, feeling better since I stopped chugging that soda water. Yes, that is a big deal. Jessica and I had this conversation. I kept getting this functional medicine doctor test done, and I mean, guys, I am crazy strict. I live this every single day. Every day of my life. If you followed me around with a camera, you'd be like, Justin is exactly who he says he is. If I was a politician and somebody was trying to find skeletons in my closet, they'd be screwed. They'd be like, he's boring as shit. He uses the best single origin organic coffee every single day and grinds it himself and measures it on a scale. And then he measures the water in grams and he works out every day and he has an infrared sauna and he reads books for hours a day and he helps his clients. That's literally just how I live my life. I have 3 different pairs of blue blockers, clear lens, yellow lens, red lens. My room is 66 degrees when I sleep, right? Everything is optimized. I really am that guy. And all my blood work kept coming back saying that I had basically had lead poisoning. I'm like, what the hell? And my doctor's like, this usually comes from water. And I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, I have a $6,000 in-home filtration system and a Gen Air refrigerator that's probably $4,000 that has a charcoal filter in it itself. It's like triple bazillion times. It's the most filtered water you can possibly get. That's what I drink for drinking water. And it finally, the light bulb one day, oh my God. I play gigs downtown, used to work 4 nights a week. For 6 years straight, I did 4 nights a week with a freaking gun, soda gun water with a cup. Give me that free water. Oh my God, there's the lead. Downtown water, you dummy. I couldn't believe it took me that long to figure out, right? Ridiculous. Ugh, so frustrating. I'm gonna drink some more Dry Farm Wines on that note. All right, Sharissa, had a dentist tell me I had to start supplementing my son fluoride because our city doesn't have water in it. I have a new dentist now. Guys, I love Sharissa so much. Sharissa is one of my best friends in the world. I call her Mama Bear because she takes care of me and she's amazing. So that's so cool. All right. What else? Oh, I'm way up here now. You aren't drinking alone. Thank you. I keep scrolling through. Man, I keep messing up the scrolling, guys. All right, Eat Fat, Get Thin. That PDF link, that's so fantastic. Thank you very much, Laura. That's great. Asked about pitting edema earlier this week, and since I've been on a 16-8 IF routine, swelling hasn't occurred. Coincidence? No, definitely not. Any amount of swelling is inflammation, period. It's an outward manifestation of internal chaos. I say the same thing about obesity. There's a video of me online saying this. Obesity is the outward manifestation of internal chaos. All inflammation begins in the gut. 16-8 intermittent fasting, you're giving your gut a break, right? You're decreasing inflammation. Intermittent fasting is well documented to help decrease inflammation, especially if you're combining it with a low-carb, paleo-type approach diet. So no, it's not a coincidence. Yay, Cassie. What else we got? I assume Mother Dirt will be okay for my kiddos. Yes, it will be okay for your kiddos. It will be fantastic for your kiddos. Definitely use that. And I'm sure you can check their website for that. Again, I'm not a doctor. Don't play one on the internet. This is not medical advice. So check their website. I'm sure they probably get questions about that all the time. Schmidt deodorant is making my armpits itchy. Is it the baking soda? Anyone have another brand that they use? I like Primal Pit Paste. I'll tell you guys a secret. I like Mother Dirt and Probiotic Action. I don't use deodorant unless I absolutely have to. So I might wear deodorant like 1 or 2 days a week if I'm playing a gig and I don't want to get like pit stains on stage or something like that. But what's crazy is I really don't get pit stains since using AO Mist and probiotic spray. So I don't even worry about it now. The microbiome in my armpits, it's like I used to use like prescription strength, like the prescription strength Dove, or I don't even know, Old Spice, whatever. I don't even know what old deodorant brands are anymore because I haven't used them in years. But literally, like, I used to get the worst pit stains on stage, and I was always really embarrassed about it. Like, using prescription strength deodorant, I'd get these huge pit stains on stage. It was so frustrating to me. And now I don't use deodorant whatsoever. I just use probiotics when I get out of the shower in the morning, and at night I spray. And I usually shower twice a day just because I use the sauna at night, but I don't use soap every time I shower. Sometimes I just get in the shower and rinse off. It's really unbelievable, guys. We're so over sanitized in our society. It's not even funny. A lot of people will use the AO mist and report that they shower 2 to 3 times a week, and they never smell. Their skin is better. Their acne goes away. Their hair is better. All these things. It's unbelievable. And again, the soap that you use makes a really big deal. Like, I use Dr. Bronner's soap. It's a really big deal. So don't use these over sanitizing soaps with all these chemicals in them. Let me see here. All right, we're at Smith Deodorant, Primal Pit Paste. I love Primal Pit Paste. That's great. Get away from Schmidt. I ended up with a horrible rash from it. Wow, that's good to know. Okay, I don't think I've ever used the Schmidt. Girl, I could talk about natural deodorant forever. Crystal Rock deodorant. Yeah, so the other thing is I used one of those rock deodorants once. It was like a salt rock deodorant thing. But the issue with it was it just smelled really bad after a while. Like the actual rock itself was like, whoa, this is not good. It was crazy. Can you talk about the true benefits of CBD oil? I no longer trust everything I read. I'm going to order it, but I want to know what to expect. I'm excited. You know why. So, Carla, I sent you CBD links that I trust. And the reason why I trust them is they came from Rob Wolf. And Rob is Rob. Rob needs no introduction, right? If you don't know who Rob Wolf is, ROBBWOLF, go consume everything Rob has ever written, ever. He's a good friend of mine, great guy. And CBD is probably the most potent anti-inflammatory on planet Earth. Now, my brother had been involved in some battles with like politicians and stuff because, as many of you know, my niece was born having 300 plus seizures a day. Now, what they'll do for children that are having severe seizures is they will usually use some type of CBD oil as a treatment. But CBD oil was illegal in Tennessee when Savannah was born. So there was this big battle about CBD. I think CBD recently got called illegal federally, which is just crazy. Our government needs to pull their head out of their ass. It's ridiculous. I can't wait till the government is run by artificial intelligence. It will be 1,000 times better, I promise you. So CBD oil is probably one of the most potent anti-inflammatories on planet Earth. Turmeric is another great one. Turmeric is actually clinically proven to be as powerful as ibuprofen in clinical studies at like 3 grams or more, or something like that. I think you need like 3 grams of turmeric. I could try to find the actual study. But CBD oil is a fantastic, potent anti-inflammatory. That's what I recommend it for more than anything. But people report just life-changing benefits from everything. I mean, sleep. People say it improves their sleep. I have a vape pen for CBD. I don't vape anything else. I don't smoke weed. I don't particularly like being high. I don't like marijuana, but I'm a huge fan of CBD. I have no problem with people who use marijuana. It's just not for me. But CBD oil is wonderful, and I think that vaping it really seems to help people sleep. A lot of fighters use it. So as you guys know, I work with professional MMA fighters, and there's a lot of head trauma there. CBD has been proven to be fantastic for head trauma. It's been proven to be wonderfully effective for some epileptic children. It stops their seizures dead in its tracks. That's unbelievable. That alone is enough for like any politician needs to pull their head out of their ass if they're not pro CBD. You can't get high from it. You could drink a gallon of it. There's no THC, you dummy. You're not gonna get high from CBD oil. It's ridiculous. There's no psychoactive component to it. So anyway, I think that CBD is wonderful. I highly recommend it. I think that people should jump on that. But again, what Carla is saying is there's all this ridiculous hype around it, so there are all these different companies just jumping on the bandwagon. And what I don't know with CBD is the labeling. So I'm worried about the labeling big time because it works a lot like supplements. As you guys know, I manufacture supplements, so I know a lot about the labeling and FDA guidelines and all these things of supplements. Proprietary blend. Always walk away from a proprietary blend, because I could say, I have beef collagen peptides, and this is a proprietary blend, so I don't have to tell you about my actual ingredients. So I could have 20 grams in a serving. 19 of those grams could be water, and 1 gram could be collagen peptides. And I can say, well, my proprietary blend is my proprietary blend, and I don't have to tell you what that is. So then I list the ingredients as collagen peptides and water. Now, someone who doesn't know to look out for these things like proprietary blend might buy your product not knowing that they're getting ripped off. CBD oil is the same way. I don't know how much CBD oil has to be, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, like declared on the label. I don't know how that works. I really don't know, and it's the Wild West because this is so new, you know? So that's something that we're dealing with. If you guys want to talk about CBD, email me. Like Cassie, it'll be a lot easier. I'll just give you specific links. Carla, if you have the email handy that I just sent you with those 2 links, feel free to share them right now. I don't have them with me. The only thing I have up right now is my browser, and my phone here is recording me because the phone has a better camera. So I don't actually have those links in front of me. But Carla, if you want to go grab that email and grab those links and share them, that'd be totally cool. You can do that right now. You can share the CBD. I have no problem with that. And Cassie, you can grab that from Carla, or Cassie, you can email me directly and I'll share those links with you. What else we got here, guys? We got any more questions? We have about 15 minutes left. This has been fun. I love this stuff. Antiperspirant is so bad for you. I used it for years and years. Starting having sharp pains in both arms. Switched to natural deodorant. Pain is gone. Excessive sweating is gone. Fantastic. That's awesome. It's a matter of the microbiome. We've destroyed the microbiome on our skin. Like, it's really bad. Sam, yes, you missed the dental stuff. We talked a lot about dental, even though it was kind of your idea. I didn't know where you were. Sorry. Had to do it. You can go back and watch it, though. You know this stuff exists forever and ever. It'll be a podcast. It'll be video, all that stuff. No regulation. Yes, correct. What else do you guys want to talk about? So, one thing I wanted to show you guys is anytime sinus congestion stuff happens. This is another thing about dental. This is from Oral Wellness as well. I've got to show you guys this. This is a toothbrush from Oral Wellness. I have like 15 of these things. So you can't see this, but you will see that the bristles are ridiculously soft and they're rounded. So they don't just come to a point where they're like a sharp bristle, because everybody is destroying their gums. They're destroying the lining of their gums. They're destroying the enamel of their teeth. People think you brush harder and you do better or something like that. It's really crazy. There's also a brushing technique that's completely different. I'll show you. It looks like this. You can barely see the toothbrush moving. So I'll put the toothbrush in a specific place at like a 45-degree angle, and I just wiggle back and forth like a tiny little vibration, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That allows this bristle to get down in between the gum line and actually clear out the bacteria in the gum line. People just blindly, people don't even know how to brush anymore. And everybody loved the electronic toothbrush. Oh, good Lord. Everybody loves the electronic toothbrush. Everybody loves the electronic toothbrush. It's completely unnecessary. You're blowing your money. In my opinion, I don't know. There are dentists, like mainstream dentists, that claim we've done clinical studies and the cleaning is superior with electronic toothbrush. So I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, so spend $50 on an electronic toothbrush. That's totally cool. Gray hair, natural part of aging or a deficiency? Well, probably a little bit of both, but not necessarily. The most potent anti-aging drug that I know is fasting. So the gray hair thing, it's kind of like autophagy or apoptosis. It's literally just like cell death. So I want you to think about that is, what are the things that you can do? I don't want you to think about it of like, what's a supplement for gray hair? Or what can I do for gray hair? Or how can I prevent gray hair? Once you have gray hair, are you going to reverse it? No, not without like Just for Men or something like that, you know? But the idea is to prolong aging or prevent aging the best that we can. What's the most potent aging prevention techniques that we have? Number one is fasting, for sure. That's the apoptosis and autophagy effect of killing those weak and dying and malfunctioning cells, getting rid of those. If you were to find like a 60-year-old that's been practicing intermittent fasting and fasting for, let's say, 40 years, they exist. I'm sure you can find them online. They're going to look like they're 35. It's crazy. It's the most potent anti-aging effect that I know of. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, to answer your question directly, I don't really know. I could do some research on it. But it's probably not the type thing where you're going to just take a supplement and get rid of gray hair or something like that. But you absolutely want the anti-aging effects of fasting. I would highly, highly recommend that. And of course, it's a natural part of aging. If you're 80, right, you're probably going to have gray hair. It's probably going to happen. What else we got? All right, gray hair. How do you feel about HGH? Okay, HGH is the same way that I feel about testosterone, the same way I feel about estrogen, the same way I feel about any hormone. You're neglecting the whole. So if you're asking about HGH, you're asking for a shortcut. That's what you're doing. And you're not taking into consideration, so if someone's on a standard American diet, let's say, and they go, I'm going to inject HGH, or there are people in the Clovis Academy that have admitted to this, that they did the HGH diet, which is a weekly injection of human growth hormone and restricting your calories to 500 calories a day. That's crazy. You should never do that. And then so there's that, the HGH diet or whatever. And then there's the HGH that you hear about like in the NFL, or people supplementing growth hormone, which I don't have a problem with. You're a professional athlete. You're bench pressing 500 pounds a day, and then you're crushing your body every Sunday, and you have a week to recover. Things like testosterone and HGH, when they're used in a sports setting, it's to increase recovery so that you can continue to work out at a high level more frequently. If you're on a standard American diet and you're a couch potato and I just pump you full of testosterone and HGH, you're not going to get skinny. It's not going to happen. Your whole system's messed up. You're probably going to end up more sick, actually. So you're treating one tiny thing. You're ignoring endocrinology as a whole. You're ignoring the whole system. We say treat the body as one, right? So you don't want to just inject HGH. Like, absolutely don't do that. You don't want to just take estrogen or progesterone or testosterone or all these things, right? Like, if I inject testosterone, I'm going to make sure my vitamin D levels are accurate. I'm going to make sure my cholesterol intake is accurate. I'm going to make sure that I'm getting enough healthy fatty acids. I'm going to make sure I'm getting enough protein. I'm going to make sure I'm getting enough omega-3s, right? All these things, you have to treat it as a whole. I don't have that big of a problem with HGH. I have a problem when HGH is used on people by practitioners that have no idea what they're doing. That's a big problem, right? It has to be part of an entire program designed to improve overall health as a whole, okay? So HGH, don't look at it like a cure-all. Don't look at it as something that, like, this is my free pass to fat loss. It's simply not, and you can cause very serious problems. Now, what is a natural way to increase growth hormone? Anybody know? Pop quiz for everyone who's ever watched the AMAs. What is a quick way to, inside of 72 hours, triple your growth hormone? Anybody? I'm going to wait for comments. Waiting. Boom! Cassie, nailed it. Boom. Fasting, okay? So fasting increases two hormones significantly. Noradrenaline and growth hormone. Significantly. It's a big deal, right? So I would much rather have you do a 3-day fast than a HGH injection, while who knows what your diet is, who knows what you're doing besides that, and then you're just going to add a bunch of HGH into the mix. That's a very, not a great idea, right? What do we got here? Dental stuff. All right, gray hair. There we go. CBD oils. Cool. Thank you so much, Carla, for sharing that. That's awesome. Oh, HCG diet was the 500. Yeah. What else we got? Yeah, HCG and HGH are two different things, though. Yeah, I haven't tried either of them. As far as I know, HCG, is it not an injection of growth hormone? I'm pretty sure that's what it is, right? I think so. 500 calories with sublingual liquid or shots. Yes, but was it growth hormone? That's my question. Anyone's vision improved since starting Clovis? I would love to know the answer to that. Yes, my vision has improved. I don't need glasses to watch TV. That's wonderful. Fasting, fasting, fast. I feel like I should know this. Yeah, Sam, you should know this. Kathy, how long? Well, it depends. I mean, even if you do a 24-hour fast, your growth hormone is going to go up for sure. But 72 hours and beyond is probably we're going to notice really, really, really potent changes. HCG is a pregnancy hormone. What's the hormone, guys? Tell me what it is. Anyway, don't do the fucking diet, okay? Don't. But anyway. What else we got, guys? We're coming up on an hour. This is AMA number 38, which I'm calling Wind Down Wednesday. So the reason I call it Wind Down Wednesday is sometimes I'm just not in a position where I'm going to do a full-blown presented and prepared AMA if I'm feeling stressed out, particularly this week where I'm feeling very not awesome. Trying to kick this sinus thing I have going on. So that's another thing I want to show you guys. This should be a rite of passage for everyone in the world. This is called Nasoline or Nasoline. This is exactly what you think it is. It's a pump for shooting stuff up your nose, right? Crazy, 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 crazy. Shoot it up your nose. And you can use a saline solution, which it comes with, which is pretty great. Or you can do what I do, which is a crazy person thing to do. This is colloidal silver. If you take colloidal silver and you put it in, let's say, warm filtered water, and you shoot it up your nose, it's about the most painful thing you're ever gonna do in your life, especially me, because I do 2 full tubes of this in the water, like 2 full droppers, because I'm a crazy person, and it hurts real bad, real bad, and helps kill anything in your nose, in your sinuses, and it can help big time with congestion and preventing a sinus infection, which I probably don't have a sinus infection. It's a change of the seasons, and I have tremendous seasonal allergies. I always have. I don't take any medication for it anymore, which is great. Maybe once to 3 times a season, I'll do 1 spray each nostril of Flonase if it's really unbearable. Now, I used to be on Zyrtec and what's the other one? Allegra. I took Allegra daily. I took Flonase daily. No allergists or ENTs or anybody could tell me what the hell was going on. They couldn't fix me. So I'm much better now, but I have a feeling these seasonal allergies will probably be around for life, something that I have to get used to. I lost a bunch of weight on HCG, but when the fat came back, it came back really bad. Yes, okay. So, Carla, we've talked about this in the past. You were doing caloric restriction. So what these HCG people have done is just completely ripped off everyone who's ever done it. That's what they've done. They've manipulated the biochemistry. They probably know what they're doing in the back end. They're probably unscrupulous individuals who are taking your money. And what they do is an extreme caloric restriction diet, which will help you lose weight in the short term, of course. But as we've talked about, what does that do? It lowers your BMR. So calories in, calories out is a myth because people like to cite the laws of thermodynamics, right? Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. So if your BMR is 2,000 calories and all of a sudden you decide that you're going to take in 500 calories, 500 calories a day, your body's going to go, oh shit, I'm going to shut down all non-essential processes and I am going to set my new BMR to 500 calories a day because this dummy who lives in this meat suit has decided that they're going to take away 1,500 calories a day from me. So your BMR sets to that 500 calories. Now, you can't live on 500 calories a day. You will die. The micronutrient deficiency will catch up with you absolutely 100%. So what happens when you get off that HCG bullshit diet, 500 calories a day, and you decide, I'm going to eat 900 calories a day? Oh my God. Now you're at a 300 calorie a day surplus because your new set point of BMR is 500. This is why people roller coaster and yo-yo diet all the time. I talked about this in the fasting episodes. That's why fasting tends to work really well because of the spike of noradrenaline and the spike of growth hormone allows your BMR set to stay the same. This is actually why there's a miscommunication here. And I thought that HCG, this bullshit diet, I thought it was growth hormone because these fucking dummies would have been more accurate if they used growth hormone. That would make more sense if they said, okay, you are going to do 500 calories a day, and we're going to inject you with noradrenaline, also known as norepinephrine, and we're going to inject you with growth hormone. That makes more sense. The noradrenaline keeps your BMR up to where it should be. The adrenaline pumping through your system makes sure it has a thermogenic effect and makes sure that your BMR stays where it's at. So if your BMR is 2,000 calories and you just go to 0 calories and you're just straight fasting, doing a water fast, your BMR is not going to go down. You see what I'm saying? So that's the thing. I don't know what this HCG shit is. I've never looked into it. I know that it sounds horrible. They would have been smarter if they said, we're going to do norepinephrine injections and we're going to do HGH injections. That actually would make more sense to me. If you wanted to biohack, I guess you could do that. You'd probably lose a tremendous amount of weight. I mean, you could do that. You could do 1,500 calories a day and inject yourself with noradrenaline and HGH, and you're going to burn a shitload of calories. You're going to burn a lot more calories than you take in, right? So, Sean, I never named you. You just named yourself, by the way, so I didn't throw you under the bus. Oh, Carla just did. That's hilarious. Sorry. Yep, Carla did it. I didn't do it. But yeah, that would actually make more sense if you want to look at it from a biohacking perspective. Guys, there's a ton of stuff you can inject in yourself and manipulate your caloric intake and manipulate your food, and you can make things happen for sure. Absolutely. Carla sure did throw you under the bus, Sean. That's true. But yeah, so I guess that's why I thought this HCG thing, I thought that it was an HGH diet that actually would have made a lot more sense to me. But no, apparently not. Listen to my body. I'm trying my best. I'm doing a lot of sauna time, doing these sinus flushes. I've sprayed Flonase twice, so I've done 4 total sprays of Flonase in the last couple days. Try my best. Allergies are killing me this year. Were your sinuses worse after your broken nose? Yes, remember, I didn't know I had a broken nose. So I went 4 or 5 years. But prior to that, when I was a kid, it was all allergy shots and allergy testing and pills and sinus infections all the time. Then when I broke my nose boxing, which probably happened 4 or 5 times. I don't know. Look at this nose. You tell me that nose never been broken? Look at this thing. It's ridiculous, right? Yeah, so I've had my nose smashed a bazillion times. You're allergic to wine. I'm so sorry. Someone's allergic to wine. Meat suit. Yes, it's what it is, guys. We're more bacteria than we are human. It's just a meat suit, right? Way to throw me under the bus. We're reading that one again. That's so funny. All right, so anything else? Oops, I just moved the whole table. Anything else that anybody wants to talk about? Because I'm good and buzzed at this point. So why don't you guys ask me some questions? That'd be a lot of fun. Also, don't forget, I've been asking for who you would like to see me talk to on my podcast, The Perfect Podcast with Justin Nault, that I bought all this new fancy equipment for. So I want you guys to really, really give me some ideas here. I'm putting together a list of 100 guests that I want to put on the podcast. So I'm working on that right now, and I think I tallied up all you guys' recommendations for me, and there was like 9. So do better. Give me some recommendations. Let me know who you want me to talk to. It can be anyone. It can be absolutely anyone. If it's a celebrity you think I can never get in touch with, tell me about it. If it is my mom is next to me annoyed because she says you haven't looked into the science and HCG diet. Let me see this. Oh, good Lord. Now I'm throwing her under the bus. Have you looked into the science of the HCG diet, Jessica Ridley's mom? Have you looked into the science, and do you know how to understand the science? Are you a biochemist? Have you studied biochemistry? Have you read books like Organic Chemistry as a Second Language, parts 1 or 2? Let's just talk about this here, right? So, have I studied the HCG diet? Fuck no. Why would I do that? I absolutely wouldn't do that. 500 calories a day. 500 calories a day. Is the HCG hormone that you're injecting yourself providing all of your micronutrients? Where are you getting micronutrients from? On a 500 calorie a day diet, what are the 500 calories a day that you're eating, right? What are the 500 calories a day? Is it just you get to eat 500 calories of whatever you want? Is it 500 calories of carbohydrates? Is it 500 calories of pasture-raised grass-fed beef? Is it 500 calories of spinach and kale? Where are your micronutrients coming from? Are you supplementing multivitamins? Are you supplementing omega-3 fatty acids that are essential? Are you supplementing sea salt? Are you supplementing essential vitamins and minerals? What are you supplementing with? What happens in that 500 calories a day? Do you think that you can survive on 500 calories a day long term? If you have 500 calories a day long term and you can't survive on it, why is it a good idea short term, right? Certain veggies and certain fruit. Absolutely, of course there's fruit. Of course there's fruit, because any diet has to absolutely have fruit in it, right? She says, where are they coming from on fast? Fasting is 0 calories. It is a moot point, okay? Caloric restriction and fasting are two very, very different things. When you take in 0 calories and you're just drinking things like water or black coffee, right? Water, black coffee, black tea. This is not caloric restriction. This is caloric. It's a moot point. It's 0. You're not taking in any calories whatsoever. What does this do? It manipulates all of your hormones. It manipulates your blood glucose. It manipulates your insulin, which essentially both drop to as low as they can possibly go. Your growth hormone spikes at least 3x, especially on a prolonged fast. Your noradrenaline, your norepinephrine go through the roof. So your BMR stays where it needs to be. Do you get that concept of BMR? You're doing more damage to yourself by taking in 500 calories than you are by taking in 0 calories. And this is why fasting is a therapeutic modality, right? HCG, you can probably do almost irreparable harm to your body. Absolutely. And you're thinking about one hormone. You're injecting one hormone. What's happening to the rest of the hormones in the body? Now, the other issue is when you get into fasting, let's think about what happens if you're doing a 500 calorie a day diet using HCG. What happens in the days when you eat? What happens in the days where you say, okay, I'm not following HCG? And then you're probably on a high carb, low fat diet with a ton of inflammatory foods, right? Whereas I could use something as a therapeutic modality like Jessica is doing, like prolonged and extended fasting or intermittent fasting. And then while you are eating during the feeding windows, I can say, okay, you're gonna eat, you know what, Jessica, go ahead and eat 2,000 calories. Go ahead and eat 2,000 calories of pasture-raised beef, of pasture-raised eggs, of leafy green vegetables, of sweet potatoes, whatever you want. Whole foods, delicious, well-quality source foods, wild-caught salmon, all these things, right? Eat. Go for it. Now, you're getting what your body needs, all the micronutrients, all the vitamins, all the minerals, right? We were designed to fast. We were literally designed to fast throughout all of human history. All of human history, as in forever. We have been fasting. It has been feast or famine. That is exactly what it is. You go out and hunt. If you're successful, you feast. If you don't, you fast. That's all there is to it. This is why people will struggle. People like Cassie will try for 23 years to lose weight and they can't figure it out. They're starving themselves. 800 calories a day, 900 calories a day, 600 calories a day. Cassie, go ahead and tell people what you're doing, right? Then they find someone like me and I go, you know what, Cassie? You have a significant amount of fat to lose. Why don't we try a 10-day fast or a 14-day fast or a 7-day fast? And then all of a sudden, we actually go through autophagy and apoptosis, right? So we haven't even talked about that, Jessica's mom. We haven't even talked about autophagy and apoptosis. All these beneficial things like programmed cell death that prevent cancer, that are anti-aging, all these things that you blunted, that you stunt, boom, stop dead in their tracks because you need 500 calories a day. You're doing more harm than good. Okay? You are absolutely doing more harm than good. You're turning off autophagy and apoptosis instantaneously. Your body doesn't have a chance. It doesn't have a chance to do all of these things that we're programmed and designed to do since birth, that we have just been putting in the way. Snacking, you gotta eat every 2 to 3 hours. Why? Why would you wanna spike your insulin every 2 to 3 hours? Why would you wanna spike your glucose every 2 to 3 hours? This is one of the major factors of the obesity epidemic in America. Yes, 600 to 700 was the lowest I'd gone on calories. 4-hour workouts and gaining each week, right? This is crazy, guys. Horror show. It's an absolute horror show. You want hungry on HCG, then that means this HCG shit that you're injecting in yourself is probably interfering with your ghrelin and leptin hormones. Did anybody talk to you about ghrelin and leptin when you stuck this needle in your butt or sublingual, whatever you did, right? Guys, I'm not going to go research this. Why would I do that? Why? You don't get to try to sit here and call me out. Well, you haven't researched the science in the HCG diet. No, I haven't, because it's completely unnecessary. It's completely unnecessary. 100%. Why? Why would I look into that? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to prescribe that to anybody. I don't prescribe anything. I'm not a doctor, guys. I know what works and what doesn't. Generally speaking, I have over 500 success stories. So find me people that have successfully used the HCG diet. Okay, I'll tell you this right now. Every single person that I've ever talked to about the HCG diet is still fat. Sorry. I mean, either still fat or thinks they're fat or has 15, 20, 30, 100 pounds to lose. Hey, I did that HCG diet, lost a bunch of weight and wasn't hungry. Okay, here you are in Clovis. Why are you listening to me? Why are you here? If it worked for you, why are you here? Right? Sean, you know that. We talked about this when you first got here. Now that Carla threw you under the bus. Like day one, I was talking about HCG. I'm like, why are you doing this crazy thing? Why are you doing this? You don't need to do this. Don't do this to yourself. Stop it. That's crazy, right? Why are you here? And why would anybody feel the need to defend this silly thing that didn't work for them, right? You guys are here consuming lifestyle advice. That's what you're doing. You're consuming lifestyle advice, which for most of you, that lifestyle advice that you're consuming is fat loss advice. That's what you want. You want fat loss advice. That's why you're here talking to me. So if your goal is to come here and say, I'm gonna ask him about the HCG diet because I know he hasn't researched it, I'll get him. I have over 500 transformation testimonies of people whose lives I have changed over the course of 6 months. I have people who literally continue to lose weight month after month after month after month after month. The roller coaster never went back up. People find Clovis, the roller coaster doesn't go back up. It doesn't, okay? It doesn't. Yes, okay, Jessica, he's sick. We can have this conversation all night. We can have this conversation all, it's just ridiculous. All right, yeah, we'll move on from that. I've read the benefits of a keto diet life. I believe the benefits. However, even as a college athlete, we were taught keto is hard on the kidneys, organs. Not true, or old school thought. And by the way, that's what was suggested, what we were suggested 4 or 5 performance supplements. Yes, of course, you're absolutely suggested performance supplements. I assure you those performance supplements were all high carbohydrate. This is based on old science. Now, one thing I want to be clear about, I keep looking this way because I have the microphone here and I want to make sure that I'm in here. But one thing to be clear about is there's an episode you should watch. Here, let me pull it for you because I have the AMAs pulled up. There's an episode you should watch called Clovis is Not Keto, because Clovis is not keto. And I will tell you the number one thing that Clovis differs in opinion on keto. So keto is usually 5% of calories, daily calories from carbs or less. And I usually have somewhere between 10 and 12% daily calories from carbohydrates. It depends on the person. So sometimes people come to me and they don't have a ton of fat to lose. And I'm like, okay, cool. We can mess with your carbohydrate intake. Now, I also want you to remember that I work with professional MMA fighters. And none of them are consuming over 100 grams of carbohydrates a day. I just don't do it. It's not necessary for athletic performance. And these are world-class athletes. I have one that's probably going to get signed to UFC within 6 to 8 months. It's unbelievable. So I'm going to share Clovis is Not Keto with you. But the other thing that we get way different is the amount of protein intake. So keto tells people to stay at 20% protein, daily calories protein, or less, because of something called gluconeogenesis. But the thing is, gluconeogenesis is not really a huge concern. I actually had a post about this up in Clovis Academy. It's on my personal page too, where I put my blood glucose reading from 11 hours fasted first thing in the morning, which was 84, and then my blood glucose 24 hours fasted after a hard jiu-jitsu workout, and it was 96. So what happened is my body was doing glycolytic activity in jiu-jitsu, so it required glucose for immediate energy. So it created it and then put it into my bloodstream. So my blood glucose was reading at a 96, which is much higher than the 84 that it was, 12 hours prior, because of the demand in the body. Carbohydrates are not required for human survival. So that's the real tricky thing, is 60% of the American diet is carbohydrates, and carbohydrates are not essential for human survival. You could not eat a single gram of carbohydrate for the rest of your life and live a long, healthy life. If you try to do that with fat or protein, you die. That should be clear enough, guys. That should be clear enough. You have 3 macronutrients and 2 of them are essential. Only 1 of them is not. And somehow that is the most abundant macronutrient that we eat in the American diet. It doesn't make any sense. So now, your coaches and stuff, I'm sure your coaches, like when you were in college or whatever, they weren't trying to steer you wrong. That's just what they were taught. But if you're a lean athlete, you can absolutely play with carbohydrate intake. But I just want to be very clear that Clovis is not keto. I mean, it's literally now, I'll give you an example, right? So there's someone in the Clovis Academy who came to me who really doesn't have much body fat to lose. It's a female. She was at like 18% body fat, I think. She's like, I really want to strip more body fat and I want to, you know, get abs. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, we're going to tweak your macros. So she bought new macros from me and I tweaked her macros and she lost 4% body fat in 40 days. Now, I want to be clear about something. The keto world freaks out and says you can't have more than 20% protein or you're going to have glucose in your system because of gluconeogenesis, right? So what I did with this person was increase their protein intake from 30% to 35%. And I kept their net carbs right where they were. I gave them 10% net carbs, which was probably 40 or 50 grams for this person. Kept their net carbs right where they were, and all I did was pull back a little bit of fat, took them to 55% fat, and pushed them to 35% of their daily calories from protein. They cut 4% body fat in 40 days. Now, when you're a female going from, or what'd she go from? I can't remember what her body fat ended up at. It was like 18 to 14. Yeah, I think it was 18 to 14. When you're 18% is very lean for a female. That's very lean, right? That's very lean. So I can change your protein intake and I can change your energy balance of fat and net carbs, and I can cut 4% body fat off you in 40 days. If you were to ask those same coaches, the people that you worked with in college, right? Hey, I need to cut 4% body fat. They would go, okay, we're gonna cut your caloric intake by 250 calories, and we're gonna have you do that for 2 to 3 weeks. And if you're not losing weight, we're gonna cut you by another 250 calories. And if you're not losing weight after that, 3 to 4 weeks later, we're gonna cut you by another 250 calories. And you may have never, ever lost the 4% body fat. You may have never done it, right? It may have never happened. And your coach would have continually just kept cutting your calories because they don't know what to do. They actually don't know what they're doing, right? They're not trying to harm you. They're not doing it on purpose. It's what they were taught. And then somebody like me comes in and says, oh, well, I'll cut 4% body fat off you in 40 days. That's no big deal. And they go, fad diet, he's crazy, he doesn't know what he's talking about, he's a crazy guy, he's gonna kill you, his diet is not healthy, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm the only person in the room that got results, man. I don't know why you're yelling. What are you so upset about, right? That's the way this stuff goes, man. Results speak for themselves. That's it. That's all there is to it, right? I can't get below 20% body fat. You absolutely can. Stacy, also, where are you getting your body fat, Red? Because I've seen you before and after pictures. I would imagine that you are below 20% body fat based on your six pack. I would imagine that you're below 20% body fat. If you're not below 20% body fat, I can absolutely get you below 20% body fat. We'll just have to tweak your macros significantly. So yeah, it just all depends. Depends on your goals. If that's what you want to do, you want to get below 20% body fat, and you come to me and say, this is exactly what I want, boom, we'll make it happen. Done deal. I mean, you guys have seen the pictures of PETA. Here, I'll share pictures of PETA. Let's see. This is what we did for PETA in the last fight. PETA has another fight coming up on October 20th, so we're going to do this again, which is pretty awesome. I'm very, very excited about it. We're going to do another weight cut. I'm going to grab this picture and share it with you guys, just so you can see what I can do if you are like PETA and follow instructions meticulously. Now, I also have a sponsorship that I got for PETA through the Good Kitchen. So she has a meal delivery service, and she takes pre-workout and post-workout. So she takes my supplements. She takes pre-workout, post-workout, and digest and rest every single day while she's training. And she is not over 100 grams of carbohydrates per day. She's actually quite below that, as far as I know. I'd have to take a look at her macros. But I just want you guys to understand this. I mean, it's like she's training 4 hours a day, right? She's training 4 hours a day. I'm looking at a picture of her right now with Mike Tyson. It's hilarious. But she's training 4 hours a day, right? You just can't tell me that you need carbohydrates for energy. Okay, here we go. I got this picture. Let's see how I can do this. What's the best way to do this? Let's see. All right. I don't know. I don't know how to share a picture, guys. What do I do here? This is craziness. I'll try to find a way to share this, but I lost 4% body fat in 40 days, and I don't have a meal delivery service. Yes, absolutely. That's the thing. So it's all a matter of, I've talked to you guys about this before. So you have protein and then you have energy, right? So if you look at it like that, if we look at it like we have two macronutrients, we have protein and we have energy. Carbohydrates and fat can both be used as energy. So you have to adjust the energy balance, which is what I did. Okay, I tried to paste this picture and it's not letting me. So sorry about that, guys. Let me see if I can share this post somehow. Share. Man, they make this tricky. They make this tricky as hell. All right, I'll share Peter's page with you, and you can go down and try to find that picture of her. But you'll see her. It's her like this, flexing with like 12-pack abs. It's crazy. Yeah, it's all about energy balance. So what we did with you was increased your protein intake, and that helps you build muscle for sure. And then what I did was, I won't get too deep into it, but I ran certain calculations that put your combination of carbohydrates and fat at a certain level, right? So we took those combined numbers, I need them to be at a certain place for me to be comfortable with you wanting to shed body fat very, very quickly. So I took your total caloric intake, adjusted that, and then I took your total daily protein and increased that. Then I took your total daily fat, decreased that, and then I took your net carbohydrates and kept them where they were because I'm pretty comfortable with those because I don't want you guys to have any kind of micronutrient deficiency, and leafy greens are loaded with micronutrients, right? It's fantastic. So anyway, just tweaking, but yeah, we can do this stuff. Anybody, so Stacy, if you want to get below 20% body fat, just hit me up. We'll run new macros and we'll get you below that for sure. Like we said, took, Sam was 18 to 14, I think, right? 9:20, geez, all right. Guys, I'll stay here all night, especially since I'm drinking wine. So let's shut this thing down. Sorry that we got derailed there for a minute with this HCG stuff. Ugh, guys, come on. You know better. You all know better. Some people don't, and they will stay in their old school mindset. That's cool. There are people that are my people, and there are people that are not my people. Jessica, I hate to say that, but, you know, there are just people that are not my people, you know? And, I mean, I have family members that just won't do this. They just simply won't. Like some of the people that are closest to me, right? Like my little sister lives in my house, just refuses, just straight up refuses, right? It's really tough, but it's not worth getting into these arguments because here I am, you know, a little bit embarrassed because I got some wine in me and I start yelling at Jessica and her parents. They just don't know better, you know? That's the thing. And of course, we'll say that they have devoured all the science, right? It's just not the case. You can't read an article from a blogger or have one doctor say, oh, this is what the science shows, and then you decide that you're a scientist and you've explored all the science, you know? So it's tricky. It's tricky, guys. And of course, I want you guys to understand, I'm not going to know everything about everything, right? So it may feel that way if you come in here and I help you lose 69 pounds or help you lose 100 pounds or help you lose 70 pounds or whatever. It's easy to just assume that I've looked into everything, but I really haven't. I've looked into what's worked. There's a reason why I've never discovered the HCG diet. I was told of the HCG diet by Sean when I first started Clovis way back in the day. When I first started the Clovis Academy. Clovis has been around since 2014. But of course I haven't explored everything. I don't know what the HCG diet is. I thought it was an HGH diet this entire time, right? I'm not always going to know everything, guys. There's no way I can. There's just too much out there. I know what works for us. I know what Clovis is. I know what Clovis is going to continue to be. So if somebody comes to me and says, hey, here's this evidence of the HCG diet. So what do you want me to do? You want me to change the protocol? Do you want me to adopt the HCG diet into Clovis? No. If HCG works for you, see ya. No sweat off my back. I don't need you here. I'm not going to miss you. It's not a big deal. Go do your thing, man. You know? It's like, I'm not going to share this video with a bunch of vegans. They don't want to be here. They don't want to hear that I just increased Sam's protein intake to 35% of her daily calories. They don't want to hear that stuff. You know? So anyway, this is AMA number 38, Wind Down Wednesday, part 1. I'm calling this part 1 because I'm sure there's going to be a week somewhere down the line where I'm stressed out and don't want to present an entire new AMA. I think maybe we should do a dental AMA. I think it's something we could really, really dig down into. So maybe we'll do that next week. Another thing that I told you guys I want to do is get the AMA topic out. The earlier the better. If I can figure out what the AMA topic is by like Sunday or Monday, or maybe I could just try to plan some out, really sit down and think about things that I want to talk about. But the other thing is I've already talked about so much, you know, that there's going to be overlap of revisiting, because guys, when you break this down, nutrition is very, very, very simple. Nutrition is extremely simple. Okay? It's so simple that I almost can't believe that I've done 38 weeks of AMAs. I really can't. Because the reason why this all exists, the reason why there are 38 AMAs, the reason why there were 37 AMAs, the reason why Clovis is what it is, the reason why there's a podcast and a blog, is because there's so much bad information in the world. That's why this is happening. You guys need to understand that. There's so much bad information, and there's so many marketers, and there's so many supplements, and so many programs, and so many products, that before you guys will even listen to me, I have to sit down and untangle all the bullshit you've already been fed, right? It's like Jessica's mom. Jessica's mom's not going to listen to me, right? Lost my cool a little bit. Shouldn't have. I'm not going to change her mind. She probably thinks, not only does she think that I don't know what I'm talking about, she probably thinks I'm a dick now, right? And that's what we get into here with all this nonsense floating around. And that's what I'm constantly trying to combat, because otherwise it would have been AMA number 1. Eat whole foods, dummy. We're done now. There you go. That's what it would have been. That's it. You know? That's literally what it would have been. So, and that's really what it is at the end of the day. But it took me 7 years to get to where I am, to know what I am now, to know what I know now. And it took us since, I think I did the first AMA in February, for you guys to know what you know now. And that's why I want to expand this podcast as well and get other people on who have far more expertise. Like if I get Rob Wolf on here, Rob knows a world more than I could ever know about nutrition. I mean, if I study for the rest of my life, I don't know if I'll know what Rob knows. I'm not claiming to be an expert. I never have. Never. I've never once called myself an expert. I've never once called myself smart. It's not that. I've tried to share my journey with you, and it's just like the Clovis kids thing. Like, I will get fired up when someone comes on here and they're just like, they try to challenge me. I'm like, look, man, I'm not doing this for money. I'm trying to help people. I got here to help people. I shared my journey, and what I've learned has worked for over 500 people. So that's cool. If you want to come here to fight with me, go away. I don't need you, you know? So anyway, I apologize for getting pissed off today. But what else we got? Yeah, Chris Kresser is debating a vegan doctor on the Joe Rogan podcast tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific, I believe it is. But yeah, I mean, Anna, we could talk about it here. It's going to be everywhere. It's going to be everywhere you could possibly think of. Joe Rogan does like 100 million downloads. It's going to be everywhere. It's going to be fantastic. Thank you for finally doing dental health. Yeah, I might do a whole AMA, because once I start talking about it, I'm like, man, this is... I forget that stuff that I know is not common knowledge. It's just like the nutrition stuff. It's like a dental AMA seems like it should be simple, but there's a lot of nonsense out there, so we can absolutely talk about that. A thyroid one would be good. Yeah, but again, like Jessica, it's... I don't see the thyroid as a astronomical problem unless you've had your thyroid removed, because you have two options: get blood work done by a functional medicine doctor and supplement, and continue to follow the Clovis protocol long term and watch changes happen. So I don't really know what that AMA would be about. What would that AMA be about? You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. This is all really simple on its surface. Kinda, I don't know, you know? I mean, I feel like we've touched on thyroid. I don't know, maybe I'll do a thyroid episode. We'll see. All right, what else we got? Totally corrected my thyroid. That's the thing, is it's just kind of, I mean, I guess that's what the episode would be. Here's what you want to test for. Yeah, we can do one. I'll just be like, here are the tests you need, because everybody gets the wrong tests for thyroid too. So there is that. Yeah, I should probably talk about it. I guess so. So do this. Give me more stuff that you want to talk about. Tell me you want to talk about thyroid, you want to talk about, or even stuff that I've already touched on. If you want to go over it again, let's do it again. Yeah, I got to think about it, because obviously AMAs are not going to stop. We're going to keep doing AMAs every single week. And yeah, we'll probably go back to presentation AMAs next week, and I'll be more careful about not getting into fights with people live on AMAs, because that's not cool. right? That doesn't help anything. All right, guys. This is AMA number 38. This is called Wind Down Wednesday, part 1. I'm sure we'll do one of these again. I hope this audio sounds really cool. GarageBand is still running, so I'll edit that down tomorrow, get the podcast out, get a blog post up. I'll put show notes and resources. I'll put pictures of PETA, and I'll put all the oral wellness stuff that I did, and I'll do the magic mud, toothpaste, and everything. No wine. Why not? I'll drink wine whenever I want. Anna, don't tell me what to do. All right, guys. So, AMA number 38, thank you for being here. Still a bunch of live viewers. I appreciate it, guys. This has been a lot of fun. Next week, we'll go, maybe next week I might do dental or thyroid. We'll see. Not sure. I'll do a manifesto tomorrow in the groups. If you're not part of the Clovis Academy, get into the Clovis Academy. Facebook.com/groups/Clovis Academy. Clovis Academy is completely free. It's a private group, so all you have to do is ask to get in there, and I will approve your request. We'll bring you into the Clovis Academy, and then you can see all the results. I really, really highly recommend that you search for results. If you're on desktop, there's actual topics. You can click the results topic, and there's like 80 to 100 full-blown posts, just incredible transformations. There's a lot of marketing stuff going on behind the scenes. I'm working on the podcast. We're going to get interviews. Interviews are going to be fantastic. There's going to be some marketing happening on the back end of I Am Clovis. There have been updates to I Am Clovis. There's the new approved foods list. So if you don't have your custom nutrition plan, get your custom nutrition plan from me. Email me at justin@clovisculture.com. justin@clovisculture.com. Go to clovis.store. Another piece of advice, not piece of advice, update, is we're getting a whole new store. Literally building out a whole new store website. So there's going to be a new clovis.store. Clovisnutrition.com is also a URL that I think we may just start using that URL. As well as clovis.store, they both go to the same place. The recipe book is in full swing. I'm going to start testing recipes. I'm going to be making videos, cooking videos for you guys that are going to go in the I Am Clovis website. So please, 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 if you're not a member of I Am Clovis, get in there, go to clovis.store, buy yourself a custom nutrition plan. That's in the lifestyle coaching section of clovis.store. If you want to learn everything there is to learn for all the previous AMAs, go to clovis.store/AMA, and you can see all the 60 plus hours of everything that I've done on the AMAs, everything that we've talked about. I forget all the topics we've covered, so yeah, sure, let's revisit some. Let's do thyroid, let's do dental, let's do fitness again, let's do cholesterol again, let's do all the things. I highly recommend you check out What Makes Clovis Different. Check out Clovis is Not Keto. Those are a couple of the starter episodes that I would recommend for somebody just coming in who doesn't know much about Clovis. So share this. Does Papa Nault have any special holiday recipes with the holidays coming up? The two biggest ones are probably banana bread and his apple cinnamon paleo bread, which are both off the charts. They're fantastic for holidays. They're fantastic for Sunday dinners. They're great. I put an Instagram story up that was actually shared in Clovis Academy, a sweet potato soup that we did with leeks that was insane, and added rice, cauliflower, and shrimp to it. Rhea and I made it. It was absolutely fantastic. More back to basic episodes. That's a good idea. Back to basics lectins was really good. Back to basics fat loss was really good. We could do a back to basics cholesterol. We could do a back to basics hormones. Yeah, good ideas. Keep these ideas coming. The more ideas, the better. All right, guys, this is Ask Me Anything, number 38, Wind Down Wednesday, part 1. We'll see, maybe we'll do another one of these. So kind of 2 in a row with Puerto Rico, and now this one, a lot of fun for me, Dry Farm Wines. I'm going to grab Todd White, get him on the podcast. So lots of exciting stuff happening. Share with your friends. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow in the Clovis Academy for a manifesto. We'll chat tomorrow. And keep sending me your ideas. Keep sending me influencers that you want to see me talk to on the podcast. The more information you guys send me, the better, the easier it is for me. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic night. Sam, go back and watch all the dental stuff. Okay, you're going to love it. So AMA number 38. Thank you guys. Justin Nault signing off. Have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.